Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tyler Ford. Thank you so much for joining me. I first just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who has shown me love and support in my most recent video, which was my monthly reset. I went through all of your guys' comments and you guys are so sweet and so supportive. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And to my new subscribers, hello. Thank you so much for subscribing. My name is Tyler and I am currently a fourth year dental student, and I really just like doing videos where, I'm talking about dentistry, lifestyle, home decor, honestly a little bit of everything, decent amount of productivity, organization. So thank you guys for following me along on my journey, and I hope it is a good time for you guys. In today's video, I wanted to discuss the topic of burnout and most importantly, how to recover from it. Anyone who is in a job that just requires a lot of emotional, mental energy from them, physical energy from them, anyone who's in professional school like nursing, dental, pharmacy, like you name it, I'm sure you all have experienced burnout. And I feel like it's not talked about enough. So I wanted to do a video and kind of just address my 5 things that I like to do to recover from burnout and how to, hopefully prevent it in the future, or just lessen the amount of burnout I'm actually getting. These are just 5 tips that have honestly worked for me throughout my journey through dental school, and so hopefully you guys will be able to implement them within your own lives. So let's get into the video. My first tip for recovering from burnout is to recognize it and identify that you've experienced burnout. I feel like we live in a culture where it is like glorified to always be busy, to always be on the grind, to like just completely submerge yourself in your career, your studies, and all of that is great. Putting in the hard work and doing what you need to do to get that degree, to get that financial stability, 100%, we love that. We want you to thrive. However, it comes to a point where it's not worth it being at a cost of your mental and emotional health. And I feel like trying to find that balance is what we as a society are struggling with now. And so the first thing that I found to help myself once I found myself being really burnt out is that I just have to recognize and identify, what, I reached my limit and there's no more that I have to give because I haven't recharged myself. If you don't recognize something, you're not able to change it. You're not able to move forward and adapt. And so obviously it would make sense that the first tip would be that you need to recognize and identify the burnout. Now, burnout can be different for different people. I recognize when I get burnt out when I'm studying things that I previously loved to study and I'm just wanting to get it done, get it over with. I recognize I'm burned out when even taking breaks to do small little things that I like to do no longer like sparks joy in me. I'm kind of just tired and I want to take a nap. And so those are the kind of the things that I recognize, like I really think I'm getting burned out. Another thing for me is when I don't have time to hang out with friends. When it's been a month since I've actually hung out with somebody besides my husband, I've recognized that that means I am spending way too much time submerged into my studies. I need to pull myself back to reality and kind of remember what I prioritize as being important in life, and kind of just making sure I am staying balanced. Those are things that I recognize as being burnout for me, and it may be the same for you or it may be different, but the first step is to definitely recognize and identify your burnout and when it's happening. The second tip that I have for you all to just recover from burnout is to plan self-care. For this tip, I do want to clarify that I'm not talking about like a self-care that you're going to plan within like a couple weeks, couple months, couple years, right? Like I mean something that you can do in that moment, in the next day or something, that just brings you joy. It could be going on a hike. It could be going to see a movie with your best friend, going on a date night, it could be booking yourself a massage. Literally, whatever it is that you find relaxes you, that makes you happy. It could be playing your favorite video game. It could be, you know, ordering in your favorite takeout and catching up on Housewives. Whatever it is, do it. Like, it doesn't matter if, oh, I need to study for like this exam that's coming up in 3 days. Like, oh, I need to, no, you just need to focus on yourself, because at this point you've already reached burnout and you're not going to be able to give what you need to give in any assignment, in any kind of job, until you have given energy back into yourself and have allowed yourself to recharge. So tip number 2 is to just do some type of self-care. And I think you will find that it is going to be a little hard when you first start, because you're so used to go, 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 and that's normal. It may be a little difficult, maybe a little awkward to even just take a break and to do some self-care. So I do want to say that, because when I first tried doing this, I kind of just was sitting there like, okay, I'm going to, do this self-care. I love doing face masks and like getting massages for myself. But I found myself also, like, when I planned these things and when I was doing these things, my mind would absolutely race of, okay, well, after this, I need to get this done, and I need to get this done, and I have to study for this test. And I found that what helps with that, if you're someone who already knows you're going to get very anxious by doing things like this, is to brain dump. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, pretty much just word vomit all over that piece of paper. List out everything that you're worried about, everything that you need to do. Just list it all out on that paper, and then just put it to the side, and then do that self-care thing that you need to do. And I think you will find that it will at least help you to calm down a little bit. And obviously it takes practice to really be able to sometimes enjoy your self-care, but taking baby steps and really trying to just make yourself a priority will really help. My third tip for recovering from burnout is to plan self-care or vacay in the near future. Now, this kind of transitions more into how to kind of avoid burnout in the future. I've learned that when you have something to look forward to, something that you're excited about that's in the near future, okay, we're still not talking about, like if it's 2023, you're gonna book something in 2027. Like, no, it either needs to be within the next couple of months, or, it could be a year, but I feel like that would be the maximum. Like, that's, all you can do because you're in school and that's the way that your breaks just work, or something like that. But planning something to look forward to in the near future, one, it gets you excited. You say, okay, like, I just need to get through 5 more exams and then I get to go to Nashville with the girls. Or, okay, I just, like, for me, like, all right, I just need to put this work in, see these patients, get these CEUs so that I can go to Arizona and visit my family, right? Like, I booked that trip ahead of time, so I know, okay, I'm gonna grind this semester and then I get to relax and enjoy family time. So planning things in the future, so you kind of have a purpose of to why you're grinding. And that will kind of go into some of my other tips that I have later on. But I think this will allow you to kind of recover from burnout, because if you guys are anything like me, I love to plan. Like, planning things just gives me so much joy. Like, I'm obsessed. I just find it therapeutic. And so having something to plan, I think, really helps with recovering from burnout, because it gives you sometimes a new sense of purpose, and it gives you something that you can control. A lot of the times when, at least I'm experiencing burnout, I feel like I've lost control of things. And there are just so many things in this world that you can't control, but you can control organization and planning, events and parties and vacation. Sometimes when you're on the vacation or during the party, you can't, control the outcome or how other people react, but you can control the way things are being planned, the way you want things set up. So I think it's a great way to really just find new excitement, be able to control something, even the smallest little bit, and to kind of just help give you new motivation for whatever it is you're doing in life. My fourth tip, I think, is honestly probably one of the most important tips, and that is to know your limits. We really need to be aware of our limits, and once we are aware of our limits, we need to be setting boundaries for those limits. I think a lot of the times why we get burnt out is because we haven't set those boundaries, or we've set them, but we just haven't respected them and we've crossed them. So, for example, having boundaries within work or school, having times where you have a cutoff, like say it's past 7 o'clock, I'm not responding to patients because that's my me time and that's when I need to personally recharge and get prepared for the next day. Or, I am not going to do work on Sundays because that is my recharge day, that is my Sabbath day, and that is when I kind of just like to have a Sunday reset and where I like to do a lot of my like scripture study, a lot of my pondering about the previous week and how I can improve and things like that. And when you set those boundaries, you allow yourself to slowly recharge, right? Like you're not working, grinding, getting burnt out, and then having to recharge yourself completely or as much as you can before you're working, grinding, getting burnt out, right? That's an unhealthy cycle. And when you do things like set boundaries, you're able to not get so depleted so quickly, but you're also able to recharge yourself regularly. And I think that's so important and that's so healthy. So if you don't want to implement any of the other tips that I've used, at least try this one because I think this one will really help you to just live an overall more balanced life. My fifth and final tip is to just remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. So many times we are just grinding and working, and sometimes we lose focus on why we're doing what we're doing, right? Like, for example, I'm in dental school and I would just be studying and trying to cram for exams and just trying to do as many like crowns or do as many like fillings or things that I can do, and I get burnt out and I get stressed out, and then I have to stop and say, why am I working so hard? What am I doing this for? I have to remind myself, oh, I'm doing it because I love helping and serving people, and by putting in the effort, by putting in the work, by learning different things, I'm able to better serve my future patients. I want to be able to provide for my family. It's like, man, like I'm staying up till 1 a.m. studying for an exam. Why am I putting in all this effort? Well, because I want to do good so that I can have financial stability, so that I am able to provide for the future big family that I want to have. Making sure that you are at least monthly reminding yourself of why you're doing what you're doing will kind of alleviate some of the stress, right? A little bit of stress is good, but you don't want to be so stressed to the point where it's debilitating. After you have recognized that you are burnt out and you've kind of done all the other things, sitting down with yourself and either typing up something or writing something down or journaling about why you're doing what you're doing will just give you greater purpose and will also just motivate you to get back into the swing of things, to get back into the grind. So I think that is another important tip that can really help you not only recover from burnout, but also help you to avoid getting burnt out, or at least lessen the type of burnout that you get in the future. Those are my 5 tips that I have for you guys on how to recover from burnout. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have things that you have found have worked for you guys and how to either avoid burnout altogether or how to recover from burnout, let me know down below in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys are doing and be able to kind of just bounce ideas off one another. Also, let me know down below in the comments of other videos that you want me to make. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.